Don't tell my editor, but I'm taking time out of my book writing schedule to address a question that, if my DMs and emails and texts are any indication, a lot of you have. And that question is, how would someone with moral courage react to the American and Israeli attacks on Iran? Well, first things first, someone with moral courage would not react, because moral courage is the practice of speaking truth to the power of your ego brain, your primal brain, which exists to keep you alive. It's there to protect you in life and death moments. And so speaking truth to the power of that part of the brain is to say, ego, I love and respect you. You exist for a reason, which is to keep me alive. But in this moment, I'm not going to die. So stand back, ego. I got this. Now, notice that merely saying those words slows you down. And that's why you don't get hot takes from me or from anybody at Moral Courage, because hot takes are born of reaction. A video like this is born of response. So, let me tell you how I'm responding. Anybody who knows me knows that since my late teens, I have been a champion of universal human rights. And so I've been outspoken about the abuse of power epitomized by the theocracy in Iran. No question there. Even as my heart leaps over the fact of, Ayatollah Khamenei's demise, it doesn't mean that the Iranian regime is decapitated in any meaningful way. But let's assume that the regime does die. Let's assume that. What's going to replace it? Do you honestly believe that Bibi and Donnie would allow someone outside of their mold to take over? I don't believe it. And what do I mean by their mold? I mean authoritarian, self-dealing, and therefore corrupt. Someone who plays their same game, us against them, either or, control or be controlled. Now, if that sounds cynical, and it might be, I grant, it might be unjustly cynical. But here's why I'm not convinced it's unjustly cynical. And that's because of timing. Why now? Why the attacks on Iran at this moment? Well, we're only a few months away from the midterms in America. And Bibi knows that support for Israel, or at least for his government, let's be more clear, for his government, has plunged and continues to spiral down. This may be his last chance to realize a 40-year dream, to oust the Ayatollah. Because after the midterms, Donnie may not have the power to get behind Bibi. What's more is that precisely because the midterms are only a few months away, Donnie is asking himself, can I really address the problems in America first? Do I have a credible solution for the affordability crisis? No. He knows it, you know it, we all know it. And so it's not so much that the attacks on Iran or helping Israel attack Iran is a distraction. No, people are not going to be distracted from the affordability crisis or even from the Epstein files. No, people are not going to be distracted from that. But what Trump is thinking is, if this works, the attacks, I can strut around like the hero I believe myself to be. And make no mistake, people, he will be the one cooing about himself. And if it doesn't work, what has he lost that he wasn't already en route to losing? So, I'm appreciating the complexity of the situation. And complex really is the word. It's more than complicated. It's entangled. Not just the region, but the politics behind these attacks. What I can say for sure is that I resonated with an essay that I read a few days ago in the Wall Street Journal. Hardly a left-wing publication, quite the opposite, actually. An essay written by an Iranian woman who reflected on the groupthink that led to the 1979 Iranian Revolution. All kinds of Iranians put their differences aside just to get rid of the Shah. And once Khomeini came into power, those differences that were put aside came back in spades, because very few people got what they were promised. In other words, it wasn't enough to just dispose of the bad guy. You had to pay attention to what was happening or could be happening afterwards. But because folks didn't and just rallied around what they didn't want, groupthink easily incubated. And this Iranian essayist compared that kind of groupthink to the groupthink that she has experienced in America among evangelical Christians and among identity politicians. And she wondered why we keep falling into binaries, us against them, either or, control or be controlled. That's what's ultimately dangerous, she pointed out. And she sniffs out those binaries in how people are reacting to the attacks on Iran. I want you to think about this. Another Iranian woman wrote, "History will debate strategy. Mothers will count graves." Say a prayer or keep in your thoughts those girls who died, were killed, were murdered by the attack on their school on day one of this war. Anything can happen, and probably will. Back to my damn book writing deadlines.